Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Not a crash, just simply an unexpected restart. It's the Audience of One show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you tend to get your podcasts from. On today's show, we discuss returning from the dead, feuding businesses, and when your dying wish comes true. I am Andrew, maestro of the run sheet, next to the guy who bought enough fireworks to make his own bunker buster. It's Dick. I played an alchemist in World of Warcraft. Schisler.
What's up?
Man, you just have this look of elation on your face, man. I can see it. And I know why. No Epstein list. And you are so relieved, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've told me before the show, oh my God, I cannot believe it.
No.
There's no Epstein list. I could sleep better at night.
No, I was, my biggest fear was they're like, oh, we got it wrong. It's not called the Epstein list. It's the Schisler list.
Dang it.
And I'm like, no.
There are a lot of similarities there, I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
No list, dog. Don't worry
Friends
about
with
it.
Presidents go
That's
on
right.
plane rides, and I have a weird gold dome building somewhere on an island.
Rest assured, you can sleep a little bit better now, man.
See, what I love about this Epstein thing, and the unfortunate things that I don't like that part, but what I love is now anyone that you know, and they're like, hey, you want to come to my island? Everyone's going to be like, can I provide my own transportation?
I don't know that I've ever thought of a scenario in which someone was going to say, would you like to come to my island? This is not something that's ever presented
It's
itself
bound
to
to
me.
happen.
I mean, with any twist of luck, perhaps. What kind of circles are you running in?
Just anyone that leaves a little opening, and I'm like, what's going on here, guys?
Come to my island.
Yeah, but everyone's now going to be like, what are we talking about?
I do think, though, island guy, that is a red flag. If you've got
Now it is.
enough money to have your own island, red flag. Just do something else with your money if you're that wealthy, in my opinion. No islands.
No,
No
I
islands.
think an island would be all right.
If you can only get to the place by boat,
It's pretty much like every country.
Well, I guess technically, right? You can't
Yeah.
get anywhere unless it's by airplane or boat.
Yeah.
You have a good point. Well, 4th of July, I pledged my allegiance to
Yeah.
surf and sand. That's right. Gave a 249 shotgun beer salute to this very
Oh,
great
yeah.
nation of ours down there in Galveston.
Did it
was
rain the
wonderful.
whole time you were there?
No, it did not.
See, lucky you.
It did not. It looked at one point as whether, I mean, it did look like it was going to storm at one point, but no, it was just glorious. The water was really warm. So I was able to get in and enjoy myself. The only issue we had was getting back across the bridge. I think there was an accident there or something, and it took us about 3 hours to get out of there and all the way home. Yeah, it was bad. Really bad, I tell you. So, but other than that, good times, buddy. How about yourself?
I had a great time. I spent time with friends, and I cooked a lot of good food, and it rained the entire time. So, it was pretty crazy. And then I get messages from my family who were involved with the camps that got affected by the flood, and that was wild because I was like, I don't really have time to talk about this, but is everyone okay?
Yeah.
Because my nephew was a counselor. My other nephew just got done with camp from
At
there in June.
those camps.
Yeah, at Camp La Junta. Like he just left Camp La Junta, I don't know, 5 days prior.
Took a week off. Was planning on probably going
and
back.
the other one was.
Yeah.
I have an older one who's a counselor, so he was doing both terms. They call them terms, June and July. And he was fortunately not there because he does too much in his life, and he had to go to Dallas for like 4 days for FFA, and
That happened to be the week that tragedy struck. Yeah, and we're not going to talk too much about that on this episode because it is virtually everywhere. But I did want to at least bring it up that we're aware of the tragedy that happened down there, and especially because you have a close connection to it.
I
strange.
I went to that camp for over 12 years, and when he was sending me footage, my nephew, I was like, wow. That's so surreal to me is your memories for 12 plus years. And then it's just like, oh, here's the commissary area. It's not there. Here's cabin 1, 2, not there. And I was just like, Jesus. And
scary stuff, man. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely terrifying to think about. And, your hearts go out to all the people affected. And it seems like because it was a camp or several camps, you had people from all over the state. So just virtually every portion of the state here in the Houston area, DFW, has folks, children, campers that went down there. And so it's widespread.
I used to take the bus in Houston to Hunt or Kerrville area. That's like, because that's where so many people from Houston would go to these camps. They just like, hey, we have a special bus if your parents can't take you.
And you are used to riding a special bus.
I love special buses. Every back seat's on the short bus is the cool seat.
Oh, I didn't say short. I just said special.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Every seat's a cool seat. But yeah, it's one of those wild things that you just didn't think.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But yeah, the whole weekend in Austin was really nice and just spent time with friends.
Yeah, I had this weird observation. I'm going to try and make this story as concise as possible. But when I was down at Galveston, there was a tent that was set up with a lot of chairs around it. And at first, I thought it was a radio station doing some broadcasting, because you would hear somebody talking, and then you would hear some music playing, and then you hear somebody talking. And it had some letters up on the booth. I'm going to change the letters just to kind of be safe here. Let's just say it said WBCC, okay? Very nondescript. I thought, what is this? So I would listen every now and again, and it kind of sounded like it was a business networking community, but it was being done in a very evangelical sort of way. So we couldn't tell if it was a church group, couldn't tell if it was a business networking. But throughout the day, as they kept talking and talking, I got more and more curious, so I went over there to listen. And it was very odd. I could tell right away that something was amiss.
Okay.
Because they would say really like general platitude things like, if you want success, you have to be successful.
Yeah.
If you want to be an achiever, you have to go out and achieve. Things that, sound really good, but really don't mean anything. So I got back to my camp, or I guess my tent, and I pulled out the phone and I looked up this company. And apparently this is a 100% straight up Ponzi scheme.
Okay, cool.
And these people were out there promoting this quote unquote business that really does not exist. And so that's why you hear these folks saying, oh, I'm a millionaire and this and that, and download this app, give me some money. And basically all this is promises for owning a percentage of a business that really does not exist. But it was wild to see how many people were out there just eating it up, man. But literally all it took was one Google search to find just mounds of information that this is nothing but a scam.
Well, you got you in there, didn't they?
What's that?
You got you there.
Oh, Hey, look, I was only out $100.
Hey,
okay,
you definitely downloaded the app.
But here's the cool thing: if I get 3 people to sign up underneath me, I'm on my way, buddy. I am on my way. So basically, next weekend, I'm thinking you and I need to take that tent back out to Galveston and do our own little pitch.
Yeah.
For what did I say? WBCC or whatever. Really crazy, man. It was crazy. Did you know, Dick, that now after, I think it was the 3rd of July, the year 2050 is now closer to us than the year 2000.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's 2025.
Math, man. Kind of weird, isn't it? That is kind of an odd thing to think about, because to me, 2050 doesn't sound like a real year.
Well, it sounds like I'll be dead by then.
I hope not.
I know, but like math.
Yeah, math. Well, and behaviors. Behaviors. Let's be honest. But if you were to wake up in the year 2000 and they said that the last 25 years was just a dream, so in other words, from 2000 to now, what would you do? Would you start warning people about 9/11? Or
was that in the 2000s? I'm just kidding.
Or like, would you quickly start jotting down the plans for an iPhone or something and try and patent it really quickly? Because so many things have changed between 2000 and now. I'm thinking I would find the inventor of the elf on a shelf and do a little vigilante justice on that guy. But I digress. I don't know, man. So you don't have children.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I definitely would invest in stock as much as possible.
Bitcoin, I think.
Because that's like easy.
Yep.
And then
Bitcoin is where it would be for me, buddy.
Disasters and everything, because I feel like there's a butterfly effect with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if somehow I could prevent 9/11, something else would happen.
True.
And you don't know the scale of that something. And so it's like, is it worth that or is it not?
Yeah, and you also do run the risk of looking like a complete crazy person.
Yeah. Well, everyone's like that. Look at Alex Jones.
Oh, yes, and he's a truth sayer. Huh?
Yeah.
Truth teller.
I think I would definitely go on Epstein's list somehow.
We're back to this.
So
there is no list. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'd be like, I'm on this list.
Oh, right? That's right. If there is no list, you can get on said list now and not have to worry about it because no list.
And I'd be disappointed. I can't humble brag.
Love it.
I'm on Epstein's list. I can't believe that's where how it concluded somewhat.
I love it. Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Move on.
And everyone's like, "You're a liar, Richard. You're not on some list."
Oh, man. Speaking of smartphones and inventing them long before, have you ever looked over at someone who was on their smart device and they were looking at something that maybe they shouldn't have been? Maybe something that was a little inappropriate for the area or the time.
No, I don't really look at other people's phones.
Well, but even like accidentally. I mean, you just kind of look over and sometimes you can see someone else's phone. This happened to me the other day when I was on the airplane. A guy in the row in front of me was just scrolling through, just doom scrolling through Insta. And he stopped suddenly on a video of a young girl doing some kind of little dance. And this man appeared to be in his mid-50s, if I had to guess. And the girl wasn't dressed scantily or anything, just, normal young woman. And she's doing a little dance or whatever. She finishes. He watches that whole thing, scrolls down, and scrolls back up again so he can get a refresh and watch that video twice.
I like it.
And I thought, yeah, you go, buddy.
I wonder what's on mine.
Let's
see if I got any
because
tricks.
Obviously there was nothing on that phone that was anywhere near interesting as whatever little TikTok dance she was doing. But I don't know, man. So nothing. You've never seen anybody? It's because, you know what they always say, if you've never seen anybody doing it, you're the one who's doing it.
This is what I got.
This would be a dog racing. What is it? Oh, this looks like a border collie that is being trained to, well, he's healing, first of all. Healing.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
I'm watching dog videos. You are the one who's done inappropriate things with a dog.
Yeah.
The most inappropriate thing with a dog. You mistrained her. That's what we mean. That's what we mean. Well, awesome, man. I'm glad that your weekend was great. I'm glad we got to get in here and get this show off for the onesies, buddy.
Yeah, I'm
really happy.
what I love is I'm literally gearing up to go bowling, where the tournament you went to.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Baton Rouge.
And now I'm like, I'm just need a couple more days. I'm done with the rain. I hope it doesn't rain.
Well,
and
it
then
will. It rained on me the entire time I was there.
Yeah.
Well, have fun. Good luck. High scores.
And I'm not a big driver. And I just drove 6 hours.
Now you're about to drive another 4.5 to 5 to get there.
Probably 10 total.
Oh, you're there and back.
Yeah.
Unless you just love it so much you don't want to leave.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, but
you'll be on the boat doubling down on 11. I don't want to leave. I'm up 500. I'm up 500.
Yeah.
I know you. All right, buddy. Let's go ahead and kick off this show. Well, in typical 4th of July fashion, the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest was held July 4th. But this year it came with a footnote. One of the eaters was disqualified. Did you hear about this, Dave?
No, I don't. This is on your feed, dude.
The woman's standings shown on a graphic on the event's organization social media site listed Madison Barone, she is a competitor, as being disqualified. She's not listed in the final results distributed by the Major League Eating, which runs the contest. So what happened, you might be asking? Well, Miss Barone, quote, experienced urges contrary to swallowing.
What does that mean? Throwing up? Does that mean throwing up?
That's exactly what that means, Dick. She experienced urges contrary to swallowing after the contest, but before the conclusion of the presentations and the awarding of the places. So, as you know,
so she finished and then she
that's
threw
correct.
up.
Part of the rules are you cannot displace what you just ate before getting your award, otherwise you are disqualified. But they don't call it throwing up. Urges contrary to swallowing. Dick, have you ever had an urge contrary to swallowing?
I like it. That's funny.
Yeah, so it resulted in her DQ.
So how long is that? Did they tell you how long it is between the competition ending and then?
I wonder if it has to be a standard amount of time. No, it does not say.
Because that sounds like torture.
Because I would imagine a lot of those guys, after they get their award, do a little reverse on what just happened. It does not say, but I bet you it's probably a half hour, before they get all the times in and they set up the medal stands and whatnot. Just contrary to swallowing. I love it, man. She's 24 years old from Manville, New Jersey. You think you'd like to date a girl who's capable of eating 46 hot dogs in under 10 minutes? Take her home to see Pops?
What?
Might be kind of impressive. What do you mean, what?
She ate how many?
I don't know. I'm guessing because Joey Chestnut, who is back this year, ate 74 and a half. That half is really what pushed him over.
So the women's, they had 33.
She ate 33. Okay.
In buns. And that was a winner. So I don't know how many of this other lady ate. 10-minute content. In 10 minutes, she ate 33 hot dogs.
The woman's first place.
Yeah.
Does it really matter, even if it was 23? I don't think I could eat more than about 2 or 3.
No, I don't want to even think about that.
But yes, our man, what did I say?
Joey
Chestnut was back this year because, remember last year he was disqualified or maybe not DQ'd. He was removed from the competition
because he was eating somewhere else.
Yeah, no, he was promoting a beef substitute, like a veggie dog or something. And Nathan's was like, we only do all beef here.
Yeah.
And so they said, get out. He said,
That's fair.
Get out, yeah. A few months ago, we didn't talk about George Cullum.
Oof.
Do you know who George Cullum is?
I want you to show you this real quick. This guy, Joey Chestnut.
Oh, are we showing the video? I can't watch him. I literally don't watch this.
What I love about this eating stuff is social media exists. So when you search, look at him, and that's going to be on the internet forever.
Sure is, just like this show.
Yeah. Well, no, I just like look at him. He's contrary to swallowing right now.
Right now, he's contemplating thoughts contrary to swallowing. That's correct.
That's funny.
Well, George Cullum, he was the man who owner, I don't know, of the Ren Fair Fest.
Even
Texas Renaissance. We never talked about this, but he passed away several months ago. And I guess he had popped up in something and I was reading about. Anyways, I decided to peruse to georgecullum.com. Yes, that's right. He has his own website. I'm going to go ahead and read directly from this website because it almost doesn't seem real.
You need to watch the 3-part HBO documentary
on this guy.
It is wild.
Or maybe we did talk about him then because I do remember us talking about this documentary. It says George Cullum is a healthy 6'2", 173-pound, 86-year-old sexually active Caucasian male entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's literally a quote from his bio from georgecullum.com. Sexually active Caucasian male entrepreneur. His home and 200-acre estate gardens are located 7 miles north of Magnolia in the small town of Todd Mission, Texas, where he also serves as mayor. Well, served because, as we have just noted, he's passed.
Yeah.
But I love this, Dick. I'm guessing the fact that this is still up and not updated probably means that this website is owned by said George, and he's not there to update it because no one is updating it. But he was sexually active all the way up until his passing.
There's a whole. I mean, I feel like I know I spoke to this about my friends because some of the people in the documentary I actually know, and there was a moment in the series where George basically does everything for the Renaissance for Todd Mission. He's involved.
He does it all. He's very active.
He's very active.
Very, very active.
But so there was a scene where he gets his assistant who's doing all the other assistant things, and he goes, "Hey, I need you to update my profile on my dating website." So there's a whole 15-minute segment of this young kid with grandpa behind him trying to find the best pictures for him, all the right information to put on the profile.
Wait, the dating profile for the older man?
Yes.
Oh, well, he is very active.
So, and I was sitting there going, can you imagine that being your job where it's like, oh, you handle all the communication for Renaissance Festival,
including updating Gramps' OnlyFans site.
And it's like, what'd you do today? Oh, I
Tinder profile.
I went to this Tinder profile for George.
Well, it sounds like his website is basically just that.
Oh, he's
an interesting guy, or was.
It is wild what his whole living. The website's great. I could show. Like, it shows his house.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting. It's dedicated to him, the website. And what's interesting about it, There's no advertisement on it whatsoever.
No,
it's literally he's just paid for the domain name and the site and said, I'm just going to tell everyone about me and how active I am in the sexual community.
I mean, you have his church, you got his house, you got his bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got it all here, and he definitely has a theme. He likes gold rims on all his vehicles, and he likes flowers, and he likes busts of himself. Statues of himself. And, again, you choose to work for this man, and that scene, you got to watch it. It is so funny.
I wonder if he has a successor, because that business and that is going to go on. The Renfest is not going to stop with him no longer living,
I think
right?
It's the biggest Renaissance festival in the country.
So I'm assuming now that he has some successor that's going to come up and just fill his spot, his role. I wonder if they'll be as active in the community as he is.
I don't know. I mean, like it is an interesting timeline because how he developed Todd Mission, the city. He developed the city,
right,
and basically made himself mayor, and never lost. You know, he's always mayor. He's been mayor for I don't know how many years
since the inception of the city.
Yeah, but he did it to protect the Renaissance Festival.
Right. Yeah, there were reasons why.
Yeah, like he's
a method to his madness.
Oh, dude, this dude was awesome. I'm sitting there like, I'm glad someone like that lives. That means I might have a chance. If you want to talk about mini Epstein,
he's a pioneer.
He might be a mini Epstein. I mean, you just look at his house. It's just that'd be so wild.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Well, R.I.P. to George. I couldn't remember if we had talked about him or not, but I think we had.
And I'm telling you, that's on HBO. I forgot what they call it, but just look up Renfest documentary at HBO, and you can find it.
Got it. Well, the Dalai Lama, moving on, said Wednesday that the centuries-old Tibetan Buddhist institution will continue after his death, ending years of speculation that started when he indicated he might be the last person to hold the role. His having a successor would mean he would be reincarnated.
That's always been it.
Yeah, that's what it's saying. He's like, yeah, this is going to continue, but it's going to be me. I'm just going to come back and be the next Dalai Lama after I've been reincarnated, which is pretty sweet. This will continue, but that is a really interesting way to continue your reign. Is to just say, yeah, I'm coming back, guys. And you know what? I would, as soon as this guy dies, if I'm in Tibet, as soon as he croaks, I'm running around the corner doing my Conor McGregor walk going, I'm back. It's me, Mr. Lama. I'm back, guys. Yeah. Right there. Be the first one. The guy, he hasn't even assumed room temperature yet. And you're over there going, yep, it's me. I'm right here, guys. I'm back
I don't
again.
think you want to do that because...
You don't want to be the Dalai Lama?
Well, because China will be after you. And
free Tibet, dude.
That's why
free Tibet.
Well, no, that's what this whole thing is going down because China now claims they get to choose the successor.
Right, and he's saying, I'm just going to be reincarnated, keeping this going.
Yeah.
And this is what's going to be really interesting about this, because as soon as he passes, sadly he will at some point. He is 90. There is going to be some conjecture about who and what is the next Dalai Lama, and when, how much time has to pass before he's going to be reincarnated.
Let's see if China goes woke.
What do you mean? Drop a bunker buster on him? What are you talking about?
I don't know. Just making jokes.
Well, the Nobel Peace Prize winning spiritual head of the Tibetan Buddhism said at prayer celebrations ahead of his upcoming 90th birthday that the next Dalai Lama should be found and recognized as per Buddhist traditions, while signaling that China should stay away from the process while identifying his successor. But again, it sounds like this guy is saying the successor is just going to be him if he's going to reincarnate.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Well, like I said, that would be me just... Or, I guess, wait, you couldn't be already born, so it'd have to be like a child that was born minutes after his death.
Or years.
Yeah, but
I don't think there's a timeline on it.
You're racing for this, man. Trust me, you're racing. So as soon as your child comes of age, you start going, you're the Dalai Lama. You start really prepping them, so they start saying really wise things beyond their years, and be like, yep, here he is. Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
And then China comes in and crushes your house. Yeah. And he's like, no, man, it's going to be one of those firstborn things again. For some reason, history likes to repeat killing the firstborn of like a town. It's just like everyone does it.
Yeah, get a new script, man.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, staying on this theme of death, this is really interesting. A Peruvian man was searched at an archaeological site in Puno, which is in Peru. And when police looked inside his delivery cooler bag, more on that in a minute, it was carrying just about the furthest thing from food. Inside was a centuries-old mummy. According to the BBC, police had stopped the man for acting drunk at the site. He had a large red cooler bag with him, which officers searched. In it, they found an ancient mummy that was in the fetal position. Not sure why that is an important note here, but it was. The man, identified by Reuters as Julio Cesar, told a local news outlet that the mummy's name is Juanita. And then it had been in his family for over 30 years. Man. This is really weird.
Is that like a Teen Wolf kind of scenario?
To explain.
Well, it's like you grow up in a family and they're like, oh, we're not going to tell them about Juanita yet.
And then just till one day it happens.
Like, what is this mummy?
And then his dad has to wolf out to show him that it runs in the family.
Yeah, it's like this.
I don't know that those two things are related, but I like where your head is at.
No, I'm saying the reveal.
The reveal. Well, this is weird. He says, quote, "It sleeps in my bedroom with me. There's my bed, the TV set, and it's next to it. There's Juanita," he said on Saturday.
Gosh.
"I take care of it. It's like, if you'll pardon the expression, it's as if it were my spiritual girlfriend."
Ooh, another one of those guys. Where's his dog outfit and it's blow up.
So this guy, for whatever reason, acting drunk with a cooler, shows up to an archaeological dig with a mummy. I'm thinking, bro, you don't bring sand to the beach, but hey, whatever. Problem here is the police apprehended the mummy and identified it to be an adult male. About 600 to 800 years old.
That's wild.
So Juanita is actually Juan.
That's a great story.
This is really weird, man.
That's a great story.
They took custody of the mummy to protect and preserve the heritage. So I think what happened was this guy's dad found this mummy somehow and just kept it for the family. And I guess they have to preserve it somehow. I mean, he had it in a cooler bag, but I can't imagine a cooler bag would preserve a mummy all that well. And he carries it around to parties and, hey, what's up? I don't know,
great,
man.
I'm gonna show a photo to the folks. I'm pretty sure this is like a cooler bag that DoorDash brings you.
Yes, it looks like what the pizza guy uses.
And you can't. I'm gonna move me real quick so people can see the head.
Why was he showing up to a dig site going, hey,
look at that head?
If you get real lucky, maybe find one of these.
I mean, you can see that head is hilarious. It's kind of like poking
sticking out.
It's like, hey.
But that doesn't look like a mummy. That just looks like a skeleton to me. The picture I saw,
it's still got some skin.
Does it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At what point does it no longer become a mummy and it has skin, or it's become a skeleton? Is it the skin, or does it have to have like the toilet paper, draping from its arms? That to me is what a mummy is. Always has its arms out, and there's always some strings hanging from the arm.
Okay, so it just says a mummy is a dead body, human or animal, that has been preserved from decay by natural or artificial means.
Wait. Say that again? Hold on. You said...
It's just a dead body of an animal or human that has been preserved from decay.
Oh, preserved from decay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, Puno, known for being the birthplace of the Inca Empire, is located in the South American country, southeast lake along Lake
Well, I'll tell you right
Titicaca.
now, if my friend...
I just wanted to say Titicaca.
If my friend had a mummy and called him his girlfriend, and then we found out it was a man, I would definitely be giving him a hard time.
That's when the jokes start. Not the fact that he's got a mummy. Dude, turned out Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel, bro.
Yeah. That's what I'd be starting with right then.
Yeah, joke's on you. Your mummy's really a chick.
Yeah.
Loser.
Yeah.
It's great. From Austin, if you're hoping to eat a meatball made of woolly mammoth grown in a lab, you're going to have to leave the great state of Texas. I tried to cover this story last week, and I guess it just passed me by. A new law passed this legislative session has made it illegal to sell, quote, cell culture protein for human consumption within Texas. And it will go into effect September 1st. That's right. We've got 3 months to just eat all the lab-grown meat we want. You and I joke about this often. They pass these laws, but they always say, it'll be September 1st in 2 years. And then it's outlawed. It's like, if it's such a bad thing, why can't you outlaw it right this second? It's always
the way it's set up in Texas.
Always
it's
that
strange.
way. So are you upset about this? I know you were all about lab-grown meat.
I mean,
well, you were excited because you could actually make a fillet in the shape of a pocket. So it just fits
right
on in there.
No, I think, well, you can just cut it till it's like
it's not nearly as much fun, is it?
No, I don't really care about this. I think it's funny.
Well, it's going to expire in 2027. So even more humorous is the fact that, one, it doesn't start until September 1st, but it expires in 2027. I guess this is good ultimately for your ranchers, right? The folks that are in the industry. They don't want to have competition from fake meat. But ultimately, if there is a pressure worldwide to feed people, having some fake meat may not be a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's similar to that whole discussion about almond milk.
Mm-hmm. Where the nipples on the almond, can't find it.
Well, no,
we tried.
Well, the milk industry got mad, like they can't call it milk.
Yeah,
because it's not milk.
It isn't. Put
your
foot down.
Same thing with this.
Put your hoof down.
Same thing with this. I'd be mad too. Call it meat. It's not meat.
Fake. Pho. They say it tastes just the same, but I don't know, man. That's kind of weird. I like to believe.
I doubt it.
I like to believe that my steak at one time had eyeballs and a soul, but no more.
Fair enough.
Last story before the break, and staying on this theme of meat, Hormel Foods. Are you familiar with Hormel?
Yeah.
Well, they're suing Johnsonville. I'm sure you're familiar with Johnsonville. And 2 employees accusing its Sheboygan Falls-based rival of conspiring to steal trade secrets. Now, I will say a place like Sheboygan Falls could be the only logical place for a place like Johnsonville and Hormel Foods. Sheboygan just sounds like a place where there's a lot of sausage. But Hormel is seeking unspecified monetary damages and is asking for the return and the deletion of confidential data.
Ooh.
Yeah, this sounds like these guys are
secret meat.
Yeah, but what could possibly be in that sauce? They want to know how the sausage is made. Yeah. They want to know how the sausage is made. That joke wrote itself. The breakfast sausage maker is seeking unspecified monetary damages and is demanding the recipes be returned according to court documents. I just love the fact this is good old-fashioned meat war. Sounds like something straight out of the 1800s.
Yeah.
Sheboygan. You ever been to Sheboygan?
No, and I kind of want to, though.
Right? Just get you some big old links. Some hot links.
Fun.
Some breakfast sausage.
I just don't know. It looks pretty.
Yeah, I just can't imagine the trade secrets that might be getting stolen, but apparently it's kind of like sign stealing in baseball, I guess, you know? It's like, hey, if they're out there, anybody can get them. Hide your stuff better. That's what I always say.
No, it just sounds like 2 disgruntled employees. So, like, we're gonna stick it to them.
You may have a point there.
Or you got approached in a dark bar, you know, and they're like, "Are you the guys that work for Hormel?"
Yeah, they got their sausage in a bundle.
Yeah, we got pocket sausages. Like, here's what we got out. Here you go.
Awesome, man.
Why do you have a mummy with you? In the DoorDash bag. Why not?
I bring them all the parties.
Yeah.
All right, man, it's a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about going for a very, very long walk. Stick around, guys, right here on the Audience of One Show.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
And we're back with Audience of One here on Lone Star Community Radio every Friday at 10 a.m. You can always email us at audienceofoneshow@gmail.com with your funny article links and be part of the show. You can also contact us through social media, and our podcast drops every Friday at 10 a.m. And we're trying to get this week done because we're both trying to get out of town or in town, or we're all around and staying dry, and we're in the second part of the show starting right now.
Just sit back and relax and enjoy. You know, I was thinking about this earlier. We were talking about the Dalai Lama, And I think we're seeing a little bit about this. We're seeing a little bit of this with the Pope now, is that the next Dalai Lama is probably going to have an Instagram account or a TikTok or something. You know what I mean?
No, because if they started that early, because the Dalai Lama, isn't that what we were talking about? Is like when they're born, they are crowned the Dalai Lama.
I don't know that for sure. I just know in the case of the reincarnation, it would have to be after the death. So you got to get there quick, and I would assume be a child. But it is kind of funny, though, to think about, like leaders, presidents, popes. It's just a little more odd when you're talking about people in religious or deities of sorts, right? That they have TikTok and Instagram accounts. There's going to be videos of them at some point doing like a beer bong when they're in college, before they got straight, before they got into politics or whatever. It's just going to happen. I just have this feeling that we're going to see, I don't know, a young Dalai Lama doing a TikTok trend at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tide Pods and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know, man.
Well, it sounds like this guy was actually put in the 1940s.
Yes, he's been there since the 40s,
Yeah.
I believe. Been there a while. Long before TikTok is what you're saying.
But he was born in 1935.
So he was a youngin'. He was just a
he
little
was
boy.
he was $5.
$5.
$5.
5 years old.
5 years old when he became okay.
It's a great gig, man, if you can get it. I imagine the meals are always steady. You know, you got somebody cooking for you. I don't know. I went down the Dave Chappelle rabbit hole the other day.
Okay.
I don't know, just clicked on one of his routines, and then, you start getting everything fed to you, and so it's routine after routine. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you before, but I started to actually, whether or not it was actually vocalized or just in my mind, I started to talk like him. You ever done that where all of a sudden you listen to so much, all of a sudden you'll talk like this, or however he finishes sentences, and I found myself going around the house trying desperately not to finish sentences like Dave Chappelle. Oh my God! That's the worst Dave Chappelle ever. But I just wondered if it was just me, because I know I did that as a teenager with like Jerry Seinfeld. I watched so much Seinfeld, I started to talk like Seinfeld.
Well, there's a condition with that.
I have a condition?
No, like it's like a subconscious
You're doing great.
decision that your brain makes, and everyone does it.
Really?
Yeah. So if you hear like a Russian accent, or you hear
suddenly you just want to speak
like
Russian?
a gangster accent or a Southern accent, if you're around it, you'll start mimicking it, not thinking that you're doing it.
Yeah, this is very conscious, though. I think but I think it's probably along the same lines. And I'm just trying to suppress the Chappelle in me now.
That's good.
Dick, I was renting a storage center the other day, and you do everything now online.
Yeah.
Everything. You don't even go in and talk to anybody. It's just click here, rent here, give me your number. They even give you the code right there on the website, or they send you an email. You don't ever have to see a soul. It's pretty nice. But in this case, they had a little indicator on the sign that said, or on the website that said, LGBTQ friendly.
Okay.
And I thought, this is a storage center. What does that even mean? How could what would be a sign that they weren't LGBTQ plus?
I don't know. I mean,
friendly. I guess maybe because it was June and it was Pride Month. Maybe that's why. Although I think I rented this in July. I don't know. I just thought it was a very odd thing to put on the website as some sort of advertisement that they are friendly to all. I don't know.
Even though you don't talk to anybody.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. You literally don't see a soul. I didn't see anybody even when I went in the first time. Not a single person. So I don't know. Maybe I could be secretly gay and they'd never know it.
Well, I would ask for a discount if I saw that on there. I'd be like, when you say friendly, does that mean a discount?
How friendly?
Yeah.
10% off friendly? What does this mean?
And I would definitely take advantage of that.
Bet you would.
Yeah, I don't care.
New opportunities abound.
Well, they don't. I mean, like, what do they need?
Can I get a 10x5 for the price of a 5x5? Yeah, like I said, I don't even know what it means.
That's immediately what I would ask. I'd be like, what's the friendly thing?
Yeah.
Can I get a discount?
That's when you walk up to him, wink. How friendly?
Yeah. Might as well ask.
Prove it. Prove your friendliness.
Might as well ask.
Dick, I got to ask you this because I know we have talked about this a little bit before, but excluding relatives or grandparents, that doesn't really count. Do you have any contacts of deceased people in your phone?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Might I ask why you're keeping those around?
Because I guess it's not technically deceased. It's still my grandfather's number. But
Now, excluding relatives or grandparents, because I can understand that, family members or whatever, but like just somebody that you knew and they passed.
I probably do.
Right? I probably do too, and I may not know it. Because I understand the social media account. I think that's where we've talked about before. Of someone that has passed, I'll still remain friends with them because other people will post on their page either a tribute to them or, hey, this reminded me of you, happy birthday. And you like seeing that. It reminds you of the person. So I kind of understand still being a friend of a deceased person on social media. But the contact in the phone, they ain't answering.
Well, I have so many contacts, it doesn't even matter. Like,
ooh, I wonder what the over and under is for dead people on your contact list.
I'll bet it's at least like 4%.
4%?
Yeah. Well, you got to think all the people through the station.
Good
and then,
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I probably meet over 100 people a year.
Yeah, you do. You do meet a lot of folks, and they have to give you their number in order to schedule an interview for this burgeoning radio station. And it might happen that some of them pass. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I do too. I don't have nearly as many contacts, but as I start scrolling through there, I'm thinking, how do I know all these folks are still with us? Maybe they're in a Peruvian delivery bag somewhere right now, and we wouldn't know.
And the phone's going off.
The phone's going off.
That's funny.
Dick, earlier you talked about having a statue of yourself.
Yeah, of course, if I had the money, for sure.
Yeah. So I think I know where this is going.
You know what I would do, though? So this is how I'd make it unique. It would be the different bodies of completely, like, I would get, like, Jabba the Hutt and have my face on it. And then I would get, the statue of David with my face on it. I would do the Mona Lisa picture and put my face on it. I think that would be really funny.
I mean, AI could probably help you out with this.
I think that would be hilarious.
Well, I was going to ask if you would ever have a portrait of yourself in your house. And I put in the run sheet there, the run sheet that I'm sure you read exhaustively about celebrities who have portraits of themselves. I don't think we can show this. One, the website is trash. It's got a ton of pop-ups. But two, some of the portraits aren't necessarily appropriate. But they're the kind of who you think it would be. Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber, Paris Hilton, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's all that interesting, but I do think it's an interesting thing for people who aren't famous to have a portrait of themselves. And I think the less influential and wealthy you are, the more odd it would be to have. So, for instance, you... man about town, but I wouldn't necessarily consider yourself a wealthy, influential type person. Say you're dating a person, someone you met on Tinder. They come over to the house for the first time, and there is a 4-foot by 4-foot portrait of yourself over the mantle.
Yeah, I like it. It depends on what the context is, right?
That's what I'm getting at.
So it's because I was looking at this article that you had. Taylor Swift has one, but it's of Kanye West. It's a still shot of Kanye West interrupting her.
From the 2013 Grammys.
Yeah. So to me, that's great.
That's kind of odd that she has a portrait of that moment.
That's pretty great.
Because think of all the moments in her life that she could have a portrait of.
That's
it's the
true.
one where Kanye is coming up and interrupting her as she's receiving a nomination. I think the one that I like the best is Aubrey Plaza. This one you certainly cannot show.
Yeah.
She's a funny comedian. It is a portrait of her with her bare ass.
Well, see, what's interesting, because if you think about it, like this one, the one you're talking about, it was painted and sent to her by a fan.
Oh, that's kind of creepy.
So, again, it's like if a fan sends you something, you're like, oh, this is kind of funny.
But you are not obligated to put said picture up on your wall.
Oh, no, I get it.
And so doing so is that next step. That's the final boss. Right.
I mean, I would still do it if it's funny.
I think it would be funny, but if someone, again, someone that you're trying to court comes in and sees that, might be a little bit of a red flag. And like I said, the less money you have, like if you're living in a van, basically, and you slide open the door, and there's a portrait of you
I already know what I want to do.
So that's what I was going to say.
I already know what I want.
What would the portrait of you look like? Because I can imagine it, but go ahead and describe how your portrait would look.
It would be me throwing up.
Oh, Okay.
And underneath, it would say contrary to swallowing.
Acts contrary to swallowing.
Yeah, and it's just me just puking whatever.
Well, I think a portrait of you would be you in your prime, right now. Dressed fairly nice, holding a wad.
I'm in my prime tomorrow.
Okay, so nearly prime.
Yeah,
subprime. You're subprime now.
Right now.
With just like a wad full of sweaty cash in your hands in downtown Houston at a chicken fight.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
That would be...
I would definitely do that.
Yeah, I think that would be a great one for you.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
I always wanted that photo taken with the special needs kids at the Texans game. I always thought that was kind of a good, cool photo if I can find that again.
You have a photo of that?
Yeah, so I got to go to I went for a period of time. I went to the Texans games for free because it's all about who you know. And the girl at the time was like, "Hey, I got you tunnel access." And I was like, I have no idea what tunnel access is.
A young lady says, "I've given you tunnel access?"
Yes, it happens quite frequently.
Huh.
And I was sitting there going like, all right, I don't know what that is, but...
I think you missed your opportunity there, bud.
She's like, oh, you just follow this guy. His name's Todd or whatever.
Follow Todd right on into that tunnel,
And I'm like, cool. And so I'm sitting there, and then I realized it was me and like 100 special needs kids. Because it was special needs weekend.
God,
with
sounds
the
like a Bonnie Blue video.
But what you do is you high five all the players before they hit the field. So it's like in the tunnel, and so you can imagine me, an adult, with all these kids, and I'm sitting there going like, "This is a bad look. This is a bad look."
No, it's a great look.
But it's a great look.
It's a great look.
It was great, and like I was like, and they were taking photos of everybody. I just pretended like I belonged.
Oh yeah, fit right in. I bet.
And I had a great time. We were hanging out. I got to eat with all the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, just hanging out. And then I was like, hey, who's taking the photos? Like, can I get a photo of that? Because it was really cool. Like, the football players are so big, and then there's all these little kids, and I'm in the middle of all of them. Like,
yeah. How old were they?
I would say they range from like 3 to maybe 17, 18, because it was for a special foundation for young kids, like young special needs, not.
JJ Watt thought you were special needs.
Well, I mean, who cares? But it was just the
hey,
look,
buddy, how's it going?
The look was really great because it was just like if you saw the photo, you see these giant football players, then you see all these kids, and there's one adult in the middle of them high fiving,
And that adult was you.
And that was me.
That was you. I would love to have that picture. Yes, that would make for a great portrait. And you have this, what do you call it? Like a safety net there. If anybody questions as to why you have a portrait, you're like, I was there for special needs.
I was there.
It's a force field.
I was
right
there supporting the Texans.
Supporting the Texans and special needs.
Another photo that I wish I had.
Immortalized forever above my mantle.
Well, it happened recently. It was where those protests were happening downtown here.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about that.
I mean, they happen quite often.
Yeah, and I park and I walk out and there's just all these people and I'm like,
that's usually how protest works.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just trying to get down the street. And as I'm waiting for the light to turn, all these people are around me chanting, and I look across the street and there's all the news vans doing pan shots. And I was like, oh, they just got me just in the middle of this protest.
Yeah!
And I'm just like waiting for the lights. And my face is just like this. And
I feel like a lot of these
that would be a great photo.
Protests now that block traffic, they need to have like a little special access lane for the people who like may actually agree with the protest. Like, hey, bud, I'm right there with you. I agree. I don't like what this administration's doing. And can you let me by though? Just a little special access lane.
They weren't being too rowdy, but it was just funny.
Let me hold through, real quick. Just scoot to the side.
There was probably a good, 60 people around me, and I'm just in the middle of it, waiting for like the only one that's trying to cross the street safely. And I'm just like looking up, and all these people, all these signs that say the crazy something about Elon Musk and burning in his car or something like that. And I'm like, this is great. But that's another photo that would be great to have of me. I'm like, yeah, I went to a protest.
I agree. Not a picture, a portrait.
Yeah, well, technically I went. That's what I can tell people.
Hey, we got an updater on the hurdler Chris Robinson, who recently made news when his genitals consistently and constantly, as the article said, fell out of his shorts while competing in the 400-meter hurdle. And I said at the time, this guy has got to be the luckiest man ever because he's going to have tons of financial opportunities come his way. Right. Well, wouldn't you know, The comedy underwear brand Shinesty has offered the 24-year-old rising star a modeling deal after he went viral.
That's great.
Dick, what the heck is a comedy underwear brand? If you're going to look it up, just be prepared to be inundated with said Shinesty, because I looked it up because I wasn't sure. And yeah, it's underwear, but it's kind of things where there's like an elephant trunk placed in an odd spot, whatever. But yes, our boy, what is his name? Chris Robinson is now cashing in on his wardrobe malfunction, as I knew he would. He should.
Good for him. I might buy you a pair of those.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The Chris Robinson special edition.
Just don't send me a picture back. Because I just realized.
I got a model for you.
Like right when I said that, I'm like, no, I don't really like the idea of knowing my friend's underwear choice. I don't like that at all.
Okay. All right. I'm going to skip this next story. Maybe if we have a little time for it here at the end. I'm noticing a theme, and I didn't mean for it to be this way, but a lot of death talk in this show. Didn't mean for it to be that way. It just sort of happened. But one man's final wish was to show his community love with a cash drop from the sky. And on Friday, June 27th at around 1 p.m. in East Detroit, the man's last request was fulfilled when a helicopter dropped thousands of dollars of cash onto the pedestrians on the streets below, Detroit News reports. Okay. This is kind of cool, but this doesn't sound to me like a dying wish. This sounds like a dead wish, because this happened after he had passed.
Okay.
And I think that kind of sucks, because to me, wouldn't you want to see your dying wish come to fruition? If you're dead, you don't ever get to really see it done. So to me, I think a dying wish should happen while you're still alive. Don't you think?
Was anybody hurt during this?
Well, I don't know how much cash there was. Couldn't have been too much. It said thousands of dollars, and there was no skirmishes. I just assumed you start dropping cash over the streets of anywhere.
Oh, it says no one was hurt.
No one was hurt. The people start throwing elbows, pulling on hair, trying to get a buck or two, but apparently no one was hurt, which tells me it probably wasn't too much cash.
Now, my first reaction would be like, I'm not falling for this again. Don't touch that money.
Again?
I ain't falling for that.
What do you mean?
I'm just kidding.
Well,
it's always laced with something. You know?
But here's where my theory might go wrong, though. You say, hey, before I die, I want to see helicopter drop cash from the sky. You're watching it on a live stream from your hospital bed. The cash goes out. Everybody's healthy. And right then, the doctor comes around the corner and goes, hey, I got good news for you. You're not dying. It was a clerical error. We forgot to carry the one. You're actually doing just fine. Now I'm going to sound like Dave Chappelle. What?
No, I like it.
That's when you're like, oh, can I get my cash back?
No.
At that point, you're going, oh.
I mean, you're already dying.
No, he just said you're not dying. That's the whole point.
Yeah, but you're not dead tomorrow. You still die eventually.
Yeah, but you're going to need that cash, especially if it was all the money that you had.
I don't think it was.
Well, I don't know. It says...
it's still cool, though.
I think it's kind of neat. I don't know
what... there's not any pictures.
Yeah, you're kind of right in this day and age. Because he would have had to have cost money just to rent the helicopter to get them up there. It would be kind of funny, though. Because you think about it, even a couple of $1,000s in cash, if you get up a couple 100 feet like that from a helicopter and drop it, it's going to look rather unimpressive. This looks like a couple of bills kind of floating down.
Well, you didn't see what the helicopter company was called, did you?
I don't believe I did. Please tell me.
It's called Airport Express Lube and Services.
Is that an important aspect of the story?
Well,
Lube and services?
Yeah, it says Lisa Knife, an employee at Airport Express Lube and Services, told the outlet that the late owner of a nearby car wash made the money drop. He was the one that did it through the company.
Interesting. I don't know that I'd want my cash dropped like that, but you know what? Not a bad dying wish, or dead wish in this case, as I said. Kind of cool. But again, I'd want to see it. What would be your dying wish, Dick? Make sure that portrait of you that you commissioned remains intact.
I always felt like the end of Rogue One would be like the best way to go.
Is that where they're standing on the beach?
Yeah, and just the whole planet blows up.
Yeah, and you can see the kind of the fire coming towards them. Love that movie.
Yeah, that'd be a cool way to dying wish. Like, I just want to see something blow up in front of me, and then I just get blown away.
Yeah. He didn't even do anything inappropriate with old Jyn Erso, which I would have thought, come on, bro, this is your shot. The Earth is ending. Just get a little handful of something.
Nah.
He was such a respectable man.
No, he just saved the rebellion.
Right.
So,
that deserves a little something. Come on.
That's one thing I love about that series. If you watch the Andor series, it's about him before, and I'm sitting there going like, you can tell me it's the best show in the world, dude, but we all saw him die on a beach, so
yeah, we know where this is going.
Yeah,
he doesn't even get any at the end either.
Yeah, it's like
what a calculated or miscalculation. Good God, dude.
But yeah, Dying Wish. What's yours?
I don't know. You know what? To make it with Jyn Erso before the earth blows up.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, man.
Because the reason I'd say that is because it's like when you say you have to have a logical means to achieve this dream.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I don't really have one that's logical. I'd be like, all right, just something blows up in front of me, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna die.
I mean, I guess if I knew I was going to perish, I would probably do something that I otherwise would be too chicken to do. Like go up into outer space or go down to the Titanic, take me down there in a Nintendo game controlled submarine, something like
wild.
that. Yeah.
I guess I would say like, oh, take me to space so I can pee.
That way your pee just floats around forever.
Yeah,
a little piece of you is just floating around forever.
That'd be a lot of fun. I'm like, look at this. This is great.
Not even in the pool, man.
It's so gross.
It just bubbles up like mercury. Look at this. You're swatting it like gnats.
I think this is great. That's like the driver, the pilot, the astronaut's like, why are we doing this? Oh, he paid a lot of money.
Yeah, it's his dying wish. It's not a dead wish. It's dying because he's still here. Yeah, no, I would do something like that. Something that I'm just entirely too chicken to do because if something were to go wrong and I pass, it'd be a terrible event. But if I'm dying anyways, go for it, man.
Yeah, well, surprisingly enough, this one didn't involve him. So most dying wishes involve the person.
It involved his cash. No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, again, this isn't a dying wish. This is a dead wish.
Yeah.
You can't really... Now, that would be kind of interesting if they did like a Weekend at Bernie's thing up there with him and kind of had him and his dead body flipping the cash out of the hell. Now, that, sir, I'd like to see that.
I like that.
Oh, my God. This show's so dumb.
I love it. Yeah. Weekend at Bernie's. That could be a dying wish, right?
Or, just prop me up and let me slowly decay on the beach for the next 2 weeks or whatever. Oh, Andrew McCarthy at his peak. From Fort Kent, Maine, one man from Florida has completed an extraordinary journey. Walking north from Key Largo on January 1st, and today, nearly 6 months later, reaching his final destination in Fort Kent, Maine. This act is known as through hiking. Are you familiar with this term, through hiking? Again, this sounds like something just made up.
All right, what is it?
To give it a term, is the act of hiking an established long-distance trail from end to end without breaks. But you ain't making it from Florida to Fort Kent, Maine without taking at least a few potty breaks. Doug Foos is his name, which, by the way, F-O-O-S, Foos, is a pretty awesome last name. He is a seasoned through hiker, has spent the last 6 months on foot, carrying only the essentials to complete his hike from Key Largo, Florida to Fort Kent, Maine. The essentials included some food and a portrait of himself completing this act, just so you know. He had a portrait commissioned of him right before.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I just made that part up.
Oh.
Through hiker Doug Foos told about his journey January 1st. They just keep repeating the same thing. Technically finished. Go ahead. Because
the best line from the article is he finished, right?
Yes.
And he goes, this is what he said, I'm ready to be done.
Yeah, I did get to that part.
I'm ready to be cleaned up and sit on the couch and watch some TV.
I thought he said, I think I'm kind of tired now.
Yeah, and
I think I'm going to go home.
What I love about that idea is the value he put on that journey. Was basically, I just wanted to get tired enough so I can watch some TV. And this is how I do it.
You could have done that without the 6 month journey, dude.
So,
but I guess that's not the through hiker mentality. You don't have that through hiker mentality. Yeah, that is pretty funny. I would think it'd be interesting. As soon as he got to Fort Maine, there was a sign that just said, now you got to go back. Turn around.
Yeah.
Now you got to go back.
Yeah, folks who do the Appalachian Trail always interests me. But then again, it's like he has enough time to do it.
Yeah, because he got to the Appalachian Trail in February. So that only took him February 25th. So it only took him a month and a half, almost 2 months, to get from the Keys to there. And then from there, I imagine the destination slows down quite a bit as you're in the mountains.
Yeah.
And hiking that portrait around with you. Gotta suck. How much food do you got to take, and what kind of food are you taking?
I don't know. Talk to him.
A lot of sterno, I would imagine, right? Heat up stuff. And then the Appalachians at night, too. Doesn't it get a little chilly?
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, that's probably why he started in was it January 1st he started. So, yeah, by the time he from Florida got up there.
Yeah, but if he's in the Appalachians in February,
I don't know.
Maybe he's going to need some of them comedic underwears and double, triple layer them. How are we doing on time, bud? I've got one other story I could cover, but I don't know that it's necessarily...
Let's do the quick hit then.
Oh, you want to do the quick hit?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dick, quick hit here at the end of the show. Dick, do you know who Carlos Norman Hathcock II is?
No.
It's quite a name. Hathcock.
Okay.
Well, he died, unfortunately, February 22nd of 1999. He was a United States Marine Corps sniper.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. And as we talked about a few weeks ago, the Marines, not just on the land, also on the water, as the name would suggest. You learn something new every day right here on the Audience of One show. Well, he has a service record of 93 confirmed kills.
Wow, okay.
Yes, Hathcock's record and the extraordinary details of his missions he undertook made him a legend in the U.S. Marine Corps. He was honored by having a rifle named after him, a variant of the M21 dubbed the Springfield Armory M25 White Feather. For the nickname White Feather was given to Hathcock by the North Vietnamese people of Vietnam. People's Army of Vietnam. Pretty cool, dude. This guy has 93 confirmed, which means, there's a few in there they couldn't quite confirm. Bet this guy's pushing trip dig, bud. Trips.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of wild to have the opposing army give you a nickname.
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily opposing. Oh, Northern Vietnamese. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's...
Yeah, I guess. Are we about to show our ignorance here?
I don't know.
Were they our friends or not? North Vietnamese? I don't know, but that was a White Feather. It's actually a pretty baller nickname to have, if you ask me.
Yeah.
White Feather. Well, Carlos, posthumously, you are our onesie of the week. And I guess it kind of goes along with our theme of death here as our onesie of the week has 93 confirmed kills. I swear it didn't. I didn't do that on purpose. It just sort of happened. Sorry to be so macabre, everyone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those are the communists.
Okay. Yeah, your enemies. Yeah, you are kind of a BA, so to speak. If your enemies give you a nickname.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I think it's cool too. Awesome, buddy. That's it. That's all I got. We've come to the end of the internet for the week.
I mean, that's such a weird thing to be able to tell people. It's like, what's your achievement in life? Oh, I used a sniper rifle and killed 93 people.
I'm pretty good at killing.
Yeah, that's kind of bad.
Yep. Awesome.
All right.
All right, buddy. Until next week, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it because it seems like every time I say, I don't know if we're getting a show in.
Yeah.
We end up getting a show in, but next week I'm gone literally all week, so we'll play it by ear.
All right. See you, onesies.
Bye, guys.